To those of us who are interested in Bible prophecy, one consistent belief over the years is that there will be a new world order in the last days. And that new world order has been seen as the starting point for how the Antichrist will eventually take power over all nations. Indeed, over the last few decades, we have seen different global alliances take shape and a concerted push toward a more global economy, all of which reinforce the idea of a new world order coming together. But here's what's fascinating. All of the movement toward a new world order in recent years pales in comparison to what we are seeing happening right now all around the world, and even in the last couple of days. Let's look at just a few things. Donald Trump has literally remade the government of the most powerful nation in the world into his own image, installing die-hard loyalists in just about every part of the federal bureaucracy. He is doing whatever he wants on a daily basis, and no one is standing up to him. In Europe, Germany's new leader is openly promising a major shift in relations with the United States as his country and the rest of Europe react to Trump's policies. Europe as a whole is also now talking about developing homegrown nuclear weapons in order to defend itself, as America can no longer be relied on in their eyes. We see other American allies, such as Canada and Greenland, react in horror to the comments of Trump and frantically search for ways to protect themselves from any actions that he might take against them. Then there is the United States aligning itself with Russia in the Ukraine-Russia war. Trump has even referred to Zelensky as a dictator, but not Putin, and Trump blamed Ukraine for starting the war, but not Russia. Even the peace talks to end the Ukraine-Russia war did not involve Ukraine itself. Just today, we saw another example of the burgeoning America-Russia alliance as the United States voted against a UN resolution that condemned Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The resolution passed, with most of Europe supporting it. Meanwhile, considering how Trump sided with Russia over Ukraine and his threats against Canada, China has to be salivating about Taiwan. It's seemingly just a matter of time before they seize the island, knowing that Trump will not stop them. As if all of these geopolitical changes weren't enough, we also have Pope Francis very ill and reportedly even considering resigning. As a reminder, there are more than 1.3 billion Catholics in the world, nearly 18% of the global population. So all around the world, we can see alliances changing right in front of us. NATO is on the way out. Europe is in shock over the United States abandoning them, Russia and America joining together, and America itself threatening to absorb other parts of the world into their kingdom. Perhaps the strangest part about how a new world order is now so quickly forming, thanks in large part to Donald Trump, is that the seeds for this new world order might have been planted in Trump's brain 40 years ago. You see, back in the 1980s, Trump kept a book on his nightstand called My New Order. That book was written by Adolf Hitler, and it was the sequel to Mein Kampf, which means My Struggle. Originally published in 1941, My New Order chimed in at more than 1,000 pages and was a collection of Hitler's speeches from the 1920s and the 1930s. In those speeches, Hitler promoted anti-Semitism, expressed his desire for world domination, and often spoke of his contempt for the efforts by the rest of the world to stop him. Hitler eventually took his own life in 1945, shooting himself in the head just over 1 year before Donald Trump was born. Hitler's fatal head wound was always of interest to me because I am convinced that Nazi Germany is the seventh head on the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. It was the kingdom that would last only a short time that we read about in Revelation 17:10. Interestingly, Revelation 17:11 tells us that the eighth king is of the seven kings, meaning that he is the sum total of all these other kings, sharing their characteristics, but also being worse than any of them. I am convinced that the final beast kingdom, the one ruled by the Antichrist himself, is none other than America, and that it will soon stretch far beyond the boundaries it has today. And that eighth king who oversees the beast kingdom is Donald J. Trump. So as we look upon Trump's new world order taking shape right in front of us, let's all understand that we are headed to a Fourth Reich, an unholy American empire which will be ruled by an emperor who is the man of sin. But for right now, there is one thing we need to understand. The Bible's descriptions for the final Antichrist all point directly at Donald J. Trump.